नित्यानन्देश्वर सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् नित्यानन्देश्वरि आदिशक्ति मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्परा. I welcome all of you with my love and respects. I welcome everyone, all the Sarvajñapita Yajamans, Nitya Satsangis, Shri Mahants, sitting with us all over the world through Nityananda TV, Facebook Live, on hundreds of Adinavasis channels, YouTube Live, and through two-way video conferencing, having Nayana Diksha. Sitting with us a long list. So, I welcome every one of you with my love and respects. I'll continue to expand on this Adinam Chalo series. Adinam is door to Kailasa. Understand, your brain is most powerful, amazing, wonderful, and unutilized component of your system. I'll repeat. Your brain is amazing, most powerful, unutilized. I don't want to say underutilized. Literally, it is. The percentage you use is negligible. It's like if you have 100 acres and you are using 2 square feet. 2.5 square feet. We can't say underutilized. We only say, we have to say literally unutilized. Almost, other than the automatic, mechanical, survival components, nothing else is used. Using the non-mechanical parts of the brain as almost like a rare phenomena, I tell you. I will not be so ferocious on this so-called modern new order of the world. If it was costing so much on your, if it was not costing so much on your brain and its capacities, stupid things which does not have any long-lasting impact on you or your consciousness or on the society has been given so much importance. This whole stupidity of currency and putting your whole life and energy towards the currency, it is not even useful to the fellows who created this stupidity. See, if the founders are able to exploit it, I'll call it as a conspiracy. It is neither useful for founder nor for the followers. So I have to use only the word stupidity, a collective stupidity. The system in which context is forgotten. Understand? the context is forgotten. Money spent on army, money spent on healthcare, both cannot be called by the same word money. Understand the stupidity in which we are all caught. Money spent on army to procure more weapons, to create more and more mechanisms to kill larger number of people with a less effort, and the money spent on healthcare field to invent cures, health, making life more long and happy, successful for the human beings, can both be called as money? Actually, both are inspiring different energy of human beings. But when you equate both to money, the whole context of life is lost. And the money-centric thinking, which is the foundation of the New World Order, has stopped brain to explore its multi-dimensional possibilities. Understand, today, International Yoga Day. Money spent on spreading yoga, money spent on spreading terrorism, both cannot be equated. Money spent on army and money spent on healthcare, both cannot be called as money. We need to find some other word, because the words we use are very important, because the words we use remind us about the decisions we make. Words we use are very important about the decisions we make. Words we use are very important because the words we use inspires us to make decision. Money spent on spreading yoga, money spent on spreading terrorist ideologies cannot be same. You can't call both as same. Energy spent on doing more and more research and spreading of yoga, and energy spent on furthering the terrorist ideologies cannot be called as a religion or a social service or enriching or the activity for the world. Money spent on spreading terrorism and money spent on spreading yoga cannot be called with the same word money, because the energy it generates is completely different. Same way, the energy spent on spreading yoga and energy spent on spreading terrorist ideology both cannot be called as religion, because the energy it generates is so totally different. Today, International Yoga Day. Of course, we do have beautiful celebrations today, whole day celebrations. The important is today we are going to be doing first time on the planet Earth, largest number of people demonstrating extraordinary yogic powers. Never in the history of humanity ever there is a record, even in Puranas. Please understand, even in Puranas, there are only records where 10 people, 20 people maximum sat together and manifested powers. Not a single record. More than 10 or 20 people sitting and manifesting powers at a time. First time ever 108 people are going to sit and manifest. Sadashiva's yogic powers. Because even if you see the Puranas, Sanjaya manifested. At one point Vyasa manifests. At one point Krishna manifests. There is one point many people manifested but only destructive powers. During the Mahabharata war, many of those weapons are powers actually. They are not weapon, they don't have a physical existence. They just create a sound and it becomes that weapon, goes and kills people. But it was only for destruction. And those powers are called Astra Sastra. They are not called yogic powers. They are not given a status of yogic powers in Hindu tradition, because again, the powers used for destruction and the powers used for life, both cannot be called with the same word called power. The money used on killing people and money used on healing people cannot be called as money. Powers used on killing people and powers used for life, both cannot be called as powers. The word, it cannot be called by the common word powers. It has to have different words. First time ever, largest number of people sit together and manifest powers of life, yogic powers. In the recorded human history. I don't see any other reference in the whole recorded human history. Of course, Indian tradition has the longest recorded human history available, the great Puranas. Puranas are not myth, they are human history. Unfortunately, the modern day human beings were not able to access those higher dimensions, so we just sealed it saying, oh, they are all myths. No. It's my responsibility to prove Puranas are history, not myths. By manifesting these powers and the other dimensions and making it available for all common men, we will be able to re-establish the Puranas are not myth. They are history, unbiased, factual record of what happened is Purana. Not written by the people who won the war. Please understand. The other day I was talking about Mahabharata and I reminded. If the Mahabharata was written to glorify Krishna, Vyasa could have very nicely covered the scene Gandhari cursing Krishna. He could have just omitted the scene. Gandhari, source of all these 101 evil sons. 100 son, 1 daughter. She is cursing an incarnation, Krishna. And that curse is becoming reality. If it was written by the winners of the war, the information could have been nicely hidden, covered. No. Vyasa elaborately records. Vyasa is the concept. It is the Hindu journalist, which modern day journalists can never understand. Observing the facts of all dimensions and putting it on record without passing your opinions. Now in the modern day, journalism means 99% opinion and 1% selected and collected fact. Selected, collected, chiseled, perverted fact. The high dosage opinionated news journalism of the modern day can never understand the concept of Vyasa. Understand, Vyasa is not a person, it's a status given in Hindu tradition. Anybody who does that responsibility. The Vyasa who recorded the Mahabharata is called Badarayana Vyasa. Vyasa Badarayana. Badarayana is his name. Vyasa is the title. And we have at least 11 Vyasas who recorded the human history, the longest human history record available on the planet Earth is our Puranas. Forget about the information, even the poetry still record is unbeaten. Nobody is able to beat nobody has beaten the Mahabharata record. Still, there is no poetry longer than Mahabharata. Even in the grass physicality, nobody is able to beat the record. So today's event, 108 people are going to sit and do the power demonstration with all integrity. No magic, no fraudulence, no cheating, absolute integrity to Kalabhairava and Sadashiva. No question of any other. It is simple oneness with Sadashiva and Kalabhairava and absolute integrity to them. Actually, we have more than 108 people who can manifest powers. But we decided, let's first put 108 people and do this demonstration and make it successful. And I commit with you guys, Guru Purnima, I'll put 1,008 people. Because we already have people, we just need to call them to one place and organize it. Maybe Guru Purnima we will organize it. 1,008 people sitting and manifesting various powers of Sadashiva. So today let's start with 108 people and let me expand on the truth I was sharing from yesterday. Brain and the way it is constructed to have access to multi dimensions of the cosmos and how poor currency based thought current, listen, the word I am using, poor currency based thought current. When you equate everything to currency and make the whole life bland, all about the zeros added in your bank balance reminds you whether you are successful or failure. Our world remembers you only by those zeros that you are successful or failure. This stupid life is what I call modern day materialistic new world order. Understand, this poor currency based thinking dominates your brain so much, makes it so dull, you don't use your brain more than the survival needs. The moment survival needs are done, you are tired, bored, or caught into the structure, you can't come out. Many fellows, actually one well-known author, he met me and he was crying, saying that, Swamiji, 10 years before I read your books, the moment I read your books, I know I have nothing to write. But by then I was already popular, so I am continuing to write. He's saying, because now I already become popular, so I am continuing to write. Many of us are caught in a groove like this. I have already become popular, let me write. I have already become popular speaker, let me speak. Listen intensely. If you imbibe this thought current which I am sharing, you can break many of the chains which are binding you, making you slave. The poor currency based thought current does not let you look beyond the so-called survival. By the time you get your survival needs, you are caught in certain groove. You are hooked to the grid and you can't be out of the grid. You don't suck anything from the grid. Grid sucks your whole life. 40 years you pay your home loan and you call that as freedom? No, really. I am surprised. 40 years you work to pay your home loan and you call that as a freedom and success, luxury, comfort. The whole currency based thought current stops your brain exploring the possibilities of the cosmos. I want my Gurukul to be completely alive, exploring the possibilities of the cosmos. That is why I made the whole Gurukul absolutely free of cost. Whether you are a child or a teenage kid or an adult or anybody, Gurukul is the place in Hindu tradition where we explore the multi-dimensional possibilities of the brain to have access to multi-dimensions of the universe. Understand? Gurukul is not school or college or university of the modern day new world order. Gurukul is not stupid, materialistic so-called university. Gurukul is universal setting. You explore the multiple possibilities and dimensions of your brain to have access to multiple dimensions of the universe. You jump and see what kind of a dance you are able to manifest. You beat and see what kind of a music you are able to manifest. You bend and see what kind of a yoga you are able to manifest. You come to oneness and see what kind of powers you can manifest. Opportunity for exploring, Vatavarana, ambience for exploring is Gurukul. In a powerful energy space of an incarnation, an enlightened being, you are given the possibility and freedom to explore your consciousness and conscious possibilities and dimensions of the universe. That is Gurukul. That is why I am very reluctant to use this word university. Even though we have a university in Los Angeles, I am always reluctant. Oh God, then they will think this is like that Harvard, Stanford, all that. Collected information being taught and further research done on those informations is not real education. Exploring multi-dimensional possibilities of the brain to have access to multi-dimensions of the universe is education. In Hindu tradition, Gurukul is for this purpose. The Vatavarana for exploring multi-dimensions of your consciousness is created. Initiation, energy, inspiration, atmosphere, for all this multi-dimensional exploring is provided in Gurukul. Understand? Yesterday I was talking about how developing an intensely powerful various breathing patterns awakens the various components of your brain, and through that you can have access to the multi-dimensions of the cosmos. All the kriyas from Kumbhaka Pattadi or Geranda Samhita, from Maschendranatha, Goraknatha, Lagulisha, the Pashupathic Shaivite literatures from Nepal. Pashupada Shaivism was seated in Nepal, like Kashyapa science. Kashmir Shaivism was seated in Kashmir. The Lagulisha Shaivism was seated in Saurashtra. Siddhanta Saivam was seated in Chola Desa, the Chola region. And Veerashaivism was seated in Karnataka. So the different branches of Shaivism as yogic literatures. Maschendranathas, Goraknathas, Lagulishas, Pasubadas, the Geranta Samhita, Kumbhagapatadi, all of them are methods, technology of making your breathing intense but subtle. Listen. Strength of your breathing is your life. Strength of your breathing is your energy. Strength of your breathing is your consciousness. Strength of your breathing is your attention span. All these kriyas make your breathing intense but subtle. When your breathing is made intense but subtle, it electrifies various components of your brain. Understand? There are certain pranayamas. It expands your lungs capacity. It expands the Anahata chakra's power. Means ability to include large number of people in you without judging. Understand? More and more you judge, more and more you exclude. Ability to include without judging is expanded through certain pranayamas. That is why yogis are always become very loving people. But bondhus, buddhus, there is a next level where you form judgments but you include them. When certain components of your brain is awakened, it's not that you don't form judgments. You form judgments, but you don't include them. You don't exclude them, you include them. Having proper judgments and including them without excluding them is leadership consciousness. Not having judgments, just including them, you become such fool. Foolishness is not Bholenatha, understand? Sadashiva's name Bholenatha does not mean he is fool, no. He is in such space, never excludes anybody, but he has a right judgment about everybody. never excludes but as right judgments. If you exclude because of judgment, you are violent. You will be lifeless. If you include without judging, you will be fool, getting exploited, cheated, finally destroyed. If you include with the right judgment, that is leadership consciousness. I'll start revealing the precise kriyas and initiation methods and initiating all of you further to have access to these multi-dimensions of the universe. Understand? 3 major things I am starting this year. Already we started and we are much ahead, manifesting all the powers of Sadashiva. Second thing I started, still we are working on it, manifesting powerful cognitions. Third, I am initiating, opening up multi-dimensions of the universe. Just like how the power manifestation has become very common, by the end of this year, all these 3 I will make it as a very common experience. Especially this inner awakening, we made power manifestation like a cell phone. Anybody picks up and calls, you talk to the other person, you get through. This time the power manifestation will become like that only. Initiated, now start, that's all. It's taking less time than dialing 10-digit number. So I'll continue to expand on further satsangs because today we have a long day. Inner awakening participants are going to have Samskara Dahana Kriya, and all the Adinavasis get ready and prepare for International Yoga Day, especially power manifestation. And today we do have some of the important releases. The original Nityananda Yoga source book is ready. So, today we will be releasing the book. As I said, anybody who bends the body for yoga, you have a right to get this book free. Understand? This is the source book, means original Sanskrit verses and the translation of all the yoga asanas, pranayamas, mudra, bandha, everything we were able to collect from all the agamas. Of course, I want to tell you, still we are collecting. The first volume is ready. Whatever we collected till now, we are releasing. So further collections will come out. I am hoping we may publish 100 volumes because so much material is available. All the original agamic Vedic Shastra Pramanas with Apta Pramanas and my Atma Pramana in English we have translated, and whatever is collected and translated is coming out as first volume. And we have collected more material and it is getting translated and organized. This is to tell the world yoga has religion, that is Hinduism. Yoga has religion, that is Hinduism. Today we are publishing that book. So all this Jing yoga, Jung yoga, Chak yoga, Chik yoga, Chikabuk yoga, all those Chakabuk yogis, remember, yoga as religion, that is Hinduism. We are happy that you take this knowledge, enjoy and share, even market and make money, get lost, we don't care. Don't say yoga has no roots or it does not belong to Hinduism. So through this book, I wanted to establish the whole world. Yoga is from Hindu Shastras. Yoga is from Hindu Shastras. And origin of yoga is Sadashiva himself. All these Jakku yogis, Chikku yogis, Pukku yogis, be very clear. Don't try to tell yoga has nothing to do with Hinduism, religion or Indian tradition. Yoga is Indian Hinduism's gift. Hinduism, which originated between Saraswati and Ganga and Kaveri, in this region, that tradition's gift. The banks of this Shabda Nadi, the civilization which got settled, Gange cha Yamune chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri, this 7 rivers, the civilization happened in the banks of these 7 rivers. Yoga is the gift of this civilization. Gange cha Yamune chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri. This Sabda Nadis, the civilization happened in this Sabda Nadi region, is Hindu tradition. Yoga is gift of that Hindu tradition. Remember, Hinduism has no cultural frills other than the stupid fellows who talk Hinduism as cultural frills. You are the cultural frill for Hinduism if you say Hinduism as a cultural frill. If somebody claims their life and their mission is to remove all the cultural frills and make the yoga to the world, my life's mission is to make the whole world understand Hinduism has no cultural frills. Hinduism has no cultural frills. I am also launching a unique, special 11 days retreat program called Nityananda Mahayoga Retreat. It will be done in 2 levels. First level 11 days Nityananda Yoga. Second level 11 days Nityananda Mahayoga. In 2 levels. World's most unique conscious awakening and working on your body. 11-day retreat to manifest extraordinary powers and shaktis through original yoga. So September 20th to 30th, 2017, the first program is getting launched. Level 1 will be 11 days and the level 2 will be next 11 days. We'll announce the dates for 11-2 soon. And these are some of my International Yoga Day offerings to the world. Today, through this largest number of people manifesting Sadashiva's powers, we will invoke the grace of Sadashiva, energy of Sadashiva on the planet Earth and bring tremendous blessings to the planet Earth. So with this, I bless you all. Let's all radiate with integrity, authenticity, responsibility, enriching, causing, living Shuddhadvaita Saivam Sadashivoham, the eternal bliss, Nityananda. Thank you. Be blissful.